movie.
Hey guys, welcome to another installment of From Pixels to Plastic, the show all about our favorite video game characters turned plastic. I am your host, Ben, and hey, we're gonna have some fun today. Now, way back in the past, I took a look at the incredibly fun Earthworm Jim action figures from Playmates Toys that were released back in the 1990s. Well, recently, Earthworm Jim has had a bit of a resurgence. He got a new HD remake video game and, you guessed it, a brand new action figure. So today we're going to take a look at the new Earthworm Jim figure from Mezco Toys. I first got a glimpse at Mezco's new Earthworm Jim action figure about a year ago at the 2011 San Diego Comic-Con. It sorta came out of nowhere, really. A new Earthworm Jim action figure was not at all something I expected to see. But I was incredibly happy about it, and I knew that this would be a figure I would have to own. Here we are a year later, and Earthworm Jim has now been released for purchase. Earthworm Jim comes in a standard blister card packaging, featuring some very colorful artwork on the card back, with an image of Jim and his pocket rocket up at the top. The back of that packaging gives us a look at the action figure itself, along with a bio for Earthworm Jim. So, let's go ahead and rip this packaging open and take a look at the figure. I think the first thing to notice about this action figure is the tremendous sculpt. The team at Mezco seemed to have perfectly captured the look of Earthworm Jim based on a lot of that classic artwork for the video game. The figure stands at the 6-inch scale and has a really nice paint job. His white suit has some very nice light blue shading to help bring out the definition of the sculpt. The yellows and blues used on his gloves and belt are very bright and painted very cleanly. The head sculpt features a very aggressive look on Jim's face. You'll notice that he's looking off to the left. It looks great, and as I said, perfectly captures the look from that classic artwork, but it is worth noting that this will limit the way you can pose the figure, because he is always going to be looking off in that direction. So speaking of posing the figure, let's check out his articulation. His head is on a ball joint, so it can roll all around as well as move slightly up and down. He has ball-like joints in the shoulders, allowing for a good range of motion, single-jointed elbows, and swivels at the wrists at the glove cuts. He has a waist swivel, but there is no more articulation below that. His legs are completely static and are not able to be posed. Luckily, this figure is perfectly balanced, so he stands well even though he's lacking articulation in his legs. So the figure isn't at all superposable, but you can still get a few different poses out of him that look really great when displayed on your shelf. As far as accessories go, Jim includes his classic red blaster. He is able to hold this in his right hand only, since his left hand is sculpted open. Just like with his suit, the paint job is very nicely done on this, and it perfectly completes the overall look of the character. Now, as an added bonus, Jim also includes a bendy version of himself outside of his suit. The look on the face on this one is much more annoyed here, and the paint and deco are all still very nice, just like on the figure. Since he's made of a bendy material, you can bend and twist him into all sorts of different positions. Also, since the head on the action figure is on a ball joint, you can pop the head off easily, and that way display the figure holding the bendy version in his hand. It makes for some great poses of him using himself as a whip or to swing over gaps. Alright guys, it's comparison time! Here's a look at this new Earthworm Jim action figure standing alongside the Playmates version released in the 1990s. While the figures from the 90s were a lot of fun, you can see the big difference in design here. This new one does a much better job of capturing the overall video game look from all of that artwork. Now, aside from the normal version of Earthworm Jim, Mezco also offered an exclusive version at this year's 2012 San Diego Comic-Con. This version is the exact same figure, but he features a metallic paint job, so he's got a really nice shiny finish. On top of that, the figure itself also has a different head sculpt, this one with a much happier face. So all in all, I'd say that this is a pretty sweet action figure. Sure, he's not very posable, so don't buy this guy expecting to get a lot of play or dynamic poses out of him. But the sculpt and paint are both excellent, and if you're a fan of Earthworm Jim, then I think you'll be very happy with this. Earthworm Jim is available for purchase right now, and if you're looking for a place to pick him up, you should head on over to www.pastgenerationtoys.com. Groovy!